Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. Today I'm talking about weird signs your specific person is changing their mind about you. Okay, so if you've got a specific person in mind, like it could be an ex or it could be someone that you dated, someone that you had a crush on perhaps, how can you tell if perhaps they are changing their mind from not really being that into you anymore, or perhaps they never were into you, to actually being more interested in you and being more into you? Okay, so some of the clues that you may look for and you may see is if they, let's say they removed you from Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or something, and then they re-add you, right? That could be a first sign of them testing the waters to come back into your life and to show that more interest, right? It could be that they're always watching your stories on Instagram or Facebook or something like that. It could be something like that too. But with things like that, you need to be a bit careful because it could be that they're just nosy. Okay, this is one of the things I say about, because sometimes I get people contacting me and they're like, oh, my ex unblocked me. Does that mean that they still care about me? Does that mean that they still want to get back together? Now, it could mean that. It really could mean that. But it could also mean that they're just being nosy and they just want to look at your profile and see what you've been up to. Okay? The best sign that you should really take seriously that someone is more interested in you again, or someone wants to get back together with you, if this was an ex we're talking about, is if they like message you directly. So they may do something first, like re-add you on Facebook if they removed you. They may unblock you. They may be watching your stories, right? These are positive signs that your specific person could be more interested in you and is changing their mind about you. But ultimately, they have to reach out to you. They have to send you a message. And it can't be a message of like you sending them a message and you getting a reply from them. It has to be a message that they send you, right? Directly, straight away. And they've initiated the conversation, essentially. Okay? That's really, really important. Because all these other signs could just be signs of them being nosy, just wanting to have a little bit of a snoop. Okay? Because sometimes that's what exes do. Or, and people like that, right? It could be people that you've been interested in, people that you've dated that sort of like come back out of the woodwork. So this is some of the things that they can do is they can just want to look at what you're up to, right? Because they're curious, because they've got nothing else to do with their time, right? Because they're, just like I said, just being nosy. Okay, so don't take those too seriously, but they are, like I said, they are positive signs. They are good signs, but you shouldn't be like, oh yeah, my ex or this person in question, the specific person that you're thinking of, re-added me, or they unblocked me, or they're watching all my stories, and then you see that and you falsely believe that that's an invitation for you to reach out to them. Don't do it, because it's not. It may not be. It may be that, it could be that they're missing you. It could be that they're now interested in you, but you don't know that 100%. So it's better to call their bluff, essentially, and still wait it out. Wait and see what happens. Wait and see if they message you. Because this is one of the things that I noticed with an ex of mine. Okay. So we broke up. I think I can't remember if I unfriended her on Facebook or she unfriended me, because it was a long time ago. It was like nearly a decade ago now. Right, so she did that. And then about 3 weeks later, she re-added me on Facebook. Right, and I just accepted it because at that point I didn't really care that much. I wasn't really too interested in Facebook at that time particularly. So yeah, I just accepted it. And then after a few days, she reached out to me. She messaged me on Facebook Messenger. Yeah. And then we started to have a conversation, and we nearly actually, met up, because she was like saying, oh, we should hang out again sometime. And I was like, yeah, why not? But then I realized, I looked back on that relationship and I had a bit of reflection, basically, like, yeah, it's probably not a good idea to like meet up with her. It's probably not a good idea to meet up again. One of the reasons was because of her. She was a compulsive liar. Like, she had lied about so many different things. She'll tell me stories about her life, and then she'll tell me the exact same story, like maybe like a week or two later, but the people would have changed in the story, right? So it was very, very strange that she would lie about these different things. So I realized at that time, like when we was talking again, and we nearly met up again, I was like, yeah, this is not a good person for me to be dating. to be seeing in this capacity. So that arrangement of meeting up again never actually happened because I had the right mind to not go through with it, essentially, right? But these are signs that someone is changing their mind about you, right? Because that's what happened with my ex, right? The first sign was that she re-added me, right? And then the second sign, the second big sign, was that she actually reached out to me and she initiated it, right? So if your specific person has done any of these things where they've, re-added you, or they've tried to reconnect with you in some way, and they've actually reached out to you and sent you a message, and without, and they've initiated the conversation, that is a very good sign, right? That they are, that they are interested in you. And the reason why it's a bit weird is because you may not know, right? You may not know that that's a sign that they're more interested in getting back together with you, right? It is a bit of a weird sign because you may be thinking, oh yeah, my ex reached out to me because, maybe they just want to chat. But essentially what they really mean is that if they're reaching out to you and they're initiating the conversation, and that conversation is positive, right, they're probably trying to get back with you. Now, what you need to remember though, right, about this specific person is that you got to be very acutely aware of what they're talking about when they message you, okay? Because if they're messaging you something like, oh, can I get my hoodie back? Can I get my stuff back? Can you take this? Can you do this? Right, and there's like an ulterior motive there. It's not a good idea, right? Because obviously they've reached out to you because they want something. But if they're just inquiring about you and they're like, hey, how are you? What have you been up to? Right, and there's no like ulterior motive of like, oh, can I get this? Can you do this for me? Etc., etc. Right, then that's more of a positive sign. But if they're asking for you to do something, right, they're asking you to do them a favor or something like that, then that's not a very good sign that they're wanting to get back together with you, that they're interested in you. Okay, it's very, very important that you make that distinction. So sometimes it can be really like heart-wrenching, right? If someone that you really liked or once liked, or an ex, comes back into your life and they reach out to you and you think, yes, they've reached out to me, they initiated, that means they must get back together. It must mean that they want to get back with me. It must mean that they want to be with me. It must mean that they've changed their mind about me. And then all of a sudden, it's not that. It's not about that at all, right? They've reached out to you because, they want something. It can be really disheartening. But the good news is that if they've reached out to you, at least like the lines of communication are there. But obviously, you need to still be playing it very cool. And what I say to people who are dealing with exes that are, that have kids, or that work with someone, right, is that if you can't do no contact and things like that, it's best to just speak to them in a very business-like manner, right? And just talk about the matter at hand. Don't ever have any emotional conversations with them, right? Because that's how you can do no contact a lot better with those people. Because if you're having emotional conversations and you're trying to like, oh yeah, they messaged me about getting their stuff back, I'm going to try and see if I can get a date out of them, I'm going to see if I can try and get them to meet up with me, it's not a good idea, right? It's not a good idea to do those things, right? Because obviously they reached out to you because they just wanted something from you, right? Just because they reached out to you doesn't necessarily mean that they want to get back with you, unless they are just solely wanting to just talk about you and to want to know about you. Okay? So you've got to be very, very acutely aware of that. So that is one of the weirdest signs that a specific person is changing their mind about you. They start offering that, doing those little signs of like re-adding you or trying to reconnect with you in some way. And then they reach out to you. And when they do reach out to you, they're just asking about you. There's no ulterior motive there. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.